It seems like every single week the delightful folks at Nintendo are revealing some brand new information about the brand new 7th generation Pokemon games, Pokemon Sun and Moon. And just today, they released a brand new trailer which revealed the evolved forms of the starters from this upcoming generation. Not to mention, it's official! Ash-Greninja is gonna be in the game. Seeing as how we're getting really close to the release of Pokemon Sun and Moon, it's getting really hard to contain my excitement for this brand new game. And I couldn't keep my silence, I have to talk about these brand new starters which were just revealed today. Also, yes, this is something of a shameless plug-in. Starting on October 18th is going to be the beginning of Pokemon Month. It's an event that I like to do every year, and this year, it's going to be leading all the way up to the release of Pokemon Sun and Moon, so please stay tuned for that. But let's just go ahead and get right into this. The brand new starter evolutions. We're going to start from the beginning. The evolution of Rowlet is known as Dartrix. I love this owl. It's definitely my favorite bird/owl Pokemon from the entire series, and I just love the style of it. Its second evolution, at first, kind of caught me off guard, mostly because of that ridiculous haircut that it has. But now that I've had sort of an entire day to digest it, it's really starting to grow on me. The general consensus that I've seen from a lot of people is that they're comparing this to an emo haircut. I don't know what you guys are saying. To me, this looks like the perfect representation of Matt Smith from Doctor Who. You honestly cannot tell me these two were not separated at birth. Hell, you could even name this thing Doctor Who, and it would be a great pun. According to the Pokemon website, Dartrix is something of a bird brain. It seems to really care about its appearance, and when you even get to see its animations in battle, it's actually slicking its hair back and trying to make it look all nice and everything. It's pretty frigging hilarious, and if any of you guys were paying attention to those Chinese leaks which came out over the course of the last couple of months, which supposedly showed the final evolutions of the starters, this is sort of our first evidence to showing that that rumor was almost certainly 100% true, and to be perfectly honest with you guys, I'm okay with it. The final evolution of Dartrix looks great. What I will say is, I love this Pokemon. It's definitely the one that I am going to choose at the beginning of the game. That being said, I have nothing against the Fire and Water starters, and I love them just as much. Particularly, I love Torracat. Torracat is very simple when compared to the other evolutions. He's basically just a slightly bigger version of Litten, but I love the fact that he's a little more fierce. And he also seems to have a very interesting accessory right underneath his chin. It looks like Butters from South Park isn't the only one who has balls on his chin. It looks like Torracat also has that as well. It's actually this weird little like sack which produces flames, which allows him to use all of his signature fire type abilities. On the official Pokemon website, they also mention that his back legs are incredibly powerful. They even go on to emphasize that it uses powerful cat punches. Now, I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of people, I do not want the final evolution of this Pokemon to be another fire fighting type. There is the small possibility that it is going to be a fire dart type, and even though we already have Houndoom and all of its previous evolutions, I'd like to see this happen, if only just to mix things up a little bit. And as for my stance on if that is truly going to be its final evolution, the one that's standing up and looks like a really pissed off wrestler, I can't wait for that. It's gonna be awesome. And then, of course, that brings us to Brionne, the evolution of Poplio. I was never really that big on Poplio before, but its evolution is just freaking adorable. How would you not want to hug this thing? I also love how sexually ambiguous it is, how you're not quite sure, is that a male? Is that a female? What the hell's going on? It's got like the whole SpongeBob eyelashes thing going on. I don't know, maybe it can pull it off. Again, looking at this form and looking at the leaked images we saw of the final evolutions, it's almost a certainty that this thing is going to transform into that, into a slightly more feminine version. And you know what? I'm okay with this. I'm really not even that hung up on it. I mean, it's something that I've never really paid attention to that much in the past. I mean, look at Emboar, and then look at a female Emboar. They look exactly the same. Every once in a while, though, you're gonna get a Pokemon that looks slightly androgynous. I mean, hell, in the last generation, X and Y, in my mind, I see Delphox as a female. Not so much because of the final form, but because, look at Braixen. I will say that I just love the overall cheery attitude of this Pokemon. According to the Pokemon website, it's always happy all the freaking time. even when it's sad, which, while saying that out loud does sound somewhat depressing, still, forget about that, it's a super cute seal that loves to dance! So far, I am loving these evolutions. I'm loving just about every single Pokemon that they've revealed for Pokemon Sun and Moon, which I honestly think is going to be one of the biggest, like, game changers for the entire Pokemon series. Not to mention this trailer revealed a lot of new information about what you can do with your Pokemon when they're in the boxes, these new communication settings where you can go and play mini games. Mega evolutions, of course, are coming back. There's no way that they would have gotten rid of that. And then, of course, there's the Ash-Greninja, which I am completely okay with. Greninja is my second favorite Pokemon, so seeing that it's going to get more special attention only makes me happier. I love the fact that he was in Smash Brothers, I loved collecting his amiibo, and I love that he's going to have a special form attached just to him. Of course, for fans of the Pokemon X, Y, and Z anime, they're definitely going to recognize this. Hell, it's even called Ash-Greninja. That's the name of it. What's interesting about this is, does that mean that Ash is, like, canon to the games now? Do Ash's adventures actually take place within this universe? Are we actually going to see Ash in the game? Why did he abandon his Greninja, and why is everybody gonna have it now? It's little things like that that we really just don't need to think about. I will say, though, that I love the look of Ash-Greninja. I love the big water shuriken on its back, and I love the fact that it has a move that, like, allows it to attack multiple times. Not only that, but its ability, which is called Battle Bond. This is actually how the Greninja transforms into Ash-Greninja. It's kind of similar to a Mega Evolution, but the way it's activated is, as long as Greninja is in a battle and he knocks out an opponent, he'll immediately transform into Ash-Greninja. It's basically a glorified Mega form, but what this means is he actually going to eventually have his own Mega form? I mean, there's still a number of starter Pokemon which don't even have these forms yet, but yet, this is all a discussion for another day, and I think you're going to have to stay tuned for Pokemon Month to hear my thoughts on that. What I will say is, I love the starters. It's really hard to honestly choose between all of them. I'm still going to go with Rowlet, but knowing me, I'm going to do what I do at the beginning of every single Pokemon game, where I'm going to restart my game a couple of times with my friends, trade them over the starters, start my game with Rowlet, and have them trade me a Litten and a Popplio. This way I can use every single starter. I love them all that much. They're all so unique and awesome, and I'm just so anxious to see what these final forms are going to be like, if it's actually going to be what's in the leaks, or if it's going to be something completely different. If it is something completely different, I think in many ways that'll be better, if only for the fact that it's really going to shock a lot of people, but we need to come to terms with the fact that it's probably going to be those final evolutions, but I'm actually okay with them. I think they all look really cool. There have been barely any Pokemon that they've revealed so far that I'm not really digging, and I'm just really excited for Pokemon Sun and Moon. So those are my thoughts about these brand new starter evolutions. You heard my thoughts, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of these starter evolutions from Pokemon Sun and Moon? Do you have a favorite? Is there one that you don't particularly care for? What do you hope to see from their final evolutions, and what are you excited to see in Pokemon Sun and Moon? And like I said, Pokemon Month is coming up. Do you guys have anything that you guys would like me to talk about? Whether it be reviews, a topic, a top 10, anything. Please tell me in the comments section below. Thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, comment on this video, and hell, why don't you give it a like too? It's real easy to do, and I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.